Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
I'm Bitch Dog, Derek Lemaster.
This is Scream Bloody Movies, the podcast where we review a horror movie each week, go over the horror news, and Derek finally tells the truth. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Great.
I'm okay.
Surprisingly great. Good. Feeling good tonight. Had a solid night. Last night, Derek and I went to the theaters to see Halloween on the big screen for the first time, so that was pretty exciting, right, Derek?
Oh, yeah. Classic.
It was gorgeous, Sounded great, looked good. Looked great. You should see every John Carpenter movie on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal, is to see every single one of his films on the big screen, because he composed them for that. And just those shots in Halloween. I don't have a small TV, but on a movie theater screen, it's just even more amazing. So it was awesome. And guys, we have a lot to talk about tonight because we are doing Paul W.S. Anderson's sci-fi horror film Event Horizon. This is the start of the Paul W.S. Anderson train that it ends up crashing into Raccoon City, and then it crashes harder and harder as the franchise goes on. But this is the start of it. This is the start of you see some of the style of Resident Evil in this movie, I feel like start to come out. We have a lot to talk about regarding it. But first, I don't have a lot, but I have a couple of very juicy horror news. So let's get into it. Let's start with the positive stuff that we need to talk about, which is, first of all, tonight, as we're recording this, the Scream 7 trailer just dropped, because that movie is coming out in February of next year. It's only a couple months away.
What?
Yeah, from Scream 7 with Sidney. Neve Campbell returns as Sidney Prescott, and Ghostface is targeting her and her daughter, Tatum. She named her daughter Tatum. So that's nice, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I like when they name characters after the great Channing Tatum.
Of course.
I bet you there's some people that probably thought that. So that's big. That's big. I don't know what the future holds with that. We'll talk about it maybe next week or so after we've all seen the trailer. You guys are multiple screens behind. I think you're both 2 screens behind. I don't think either of you seen the 2 newer ones. So
nope.
Too scary.
What to catch up on those. We're on Scream 3 with our Scream watch through, and that one's a pretty light. So I think you can make it, Lydia. You can make it through that one. The scariest part of Scream 3 is Courtney Cox's haircut.
I love it.
Next, let's talk about this. Derek, this is kind of up your alley. New Line Cinema is reportedly developing a prequel movie to The Conjuring with Rodrigue Huart directing it. So they said that that the short film director is in talks to direct the Conjuring prequel. That's all we kind of know about it, is that it's supposed to be a prequel to The Conjuring. What do you feel about this?
Interesting.
How?
It's a what now?
A prequel to The Conjuring.
A prequel?
What are they doing? Are they plumbers? They're just plumbing away? I don't know.
It could be like how they... I'd stab in the dark. I would do like how they met and maybe like their very first haunting.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess. But, we'll see. I don't know. That
I
I
think
don't know
they're
about that.
silly to not try to continue that.
Well, they said this was
Yeah.
last one. They did the last. I mean, it's their last real life case that they worked. So, I mean, I understand that, but you could easily just slot one in. If you're going to do a prequel, just make it a prequel to Conjuring Last Rites and just throw in some more cases before that.
Yeah, no, it's
We just look.
this is a
Here's the
money
secret.
train, man.
Here's the secret to the Conjuring movies. It's not about the scares. We watch it because we want to see Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga together.
Oh yeah, like they are
Yeah,
one of the
but
best.
also the scares, though.
Well, the scares, yeah, but like it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a Nightmare on Elm Street where you can, as long as you have Freddy, you can replace everybody else. They're the draw. They're why we're there. So
Mhm.
I don't know how we're gonna go about that. We'll find out. Then we got some Flanagan news, Mike Flanagan news, because he has wrapped production on Carrie, the series that he is doing. He has wrapped it. He called it one of the best experiences of his career and one of the very best ensembles I've worked with, and one of his favorite projects ever. So we will be seeing that, in the near to semi-distant future. But are you guys excited for the Carrie update here? This miniseries. It'll be released next year on Amazon Prime. 8 episodes.
I am excited for that.
Yeah,
I
of course.
wasn't excited until I realized he was attached. So
Yeah. I mean,
Now I'm
it's
excited.
Flanagan doing King, and we know nobody really does King better than Flanagan. I mean, the only one that's close is Darabont, right? I mean, he did make the Shawshank Redemption and the Green Mile, but like, you know, this is I'm super excited for this.
Yeah.
I mean, Carrie is one of those like every generation they decide to try to remake it or like to put a new spin on it. I mean, some are successful, some aren't. We have obviously De Palma's classic, which we'll do next Stinker King Timber, but we have De Palma's classic, and then we also have the terrible Rage Carrie 2 from the 90s. No bueno on that one. And then we have the one from the early 2010s, right?
Yeah.
So now I guess they're due for a new one. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for anything that Flanagan does. And then, guys, I would be remiss not to mention this story. This is kind of a big one that's been reported by Variety, and it is not movie news as far as a new project coming out, but we've got some gossipy news here. Catherine Corcoran, who plays the best friend in the original Terrifier, the blonde girl,
Mm-hmm.
she is suing the producers and the director for unpaid royalties and filming a nude scene without consent.
Is she the one that gets chainsawed?
Mm-hmm. She's the one who gets
Oh,
chainsaw.
no.
So she's alleging breach of contract and distribution of sexually explicit materials without consent. So apparently, the long and short of this is that she said, I mean, there's other complaints in here, about like the poor working conditions, but that's kind of par for the course on a low budget feature. I mean, that
Yeah.
just is
Yeah.
what it is. But some of the stuff. So what she's saying is that on Terrifier, she did an extremely low upfront per diem rate. Basically, she did SAG minimum, which is $100 a day. That was how they were able to make that movie. She worked for $100 a day, with the promise of she said she was contracted this, and with an agreement of she would receive 1% of the profits from the film, as well as potential future franchise entries and related merchandise, including other licenses and intellectual property.
Ooh.
So essentially, she was promised 1% of all net sales, and the Terrifier films have grossed $105 million. And she has received $6,000.
Wow.
That's quite short of that 1% mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so basically, she said she's reached out to the producer Falcone and Damien Leone, saying asking about the royalty payments, and she was brushed off, with Leone saying that Falcone handles that. And then when she asked Falcone, he said he doesn't keep records, which is a wild fucking thing to say. But I don't pay attention to those records.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's like, well, I didn't notice that was in the contract.
yeah, yeah. So all this will come out and play out in court. But the like that stuff will, if I mean, that's either an agreement or not agreement. But
Mm-hmm.
what the nude thing is what kind of bothers me. She said that the suit claims that the producers never obtained Corocon's informed written consent to film unclothed. Basically, it was one of those that on the day they were like, "Hey, this would be better if you were naked instead of like if you were topless as opposed to in a top." And you have to have writers for that sort of stuff. You have to have writers for. I mean, we're making a film. We know. I mean, there's some nudity in there, and we've been very upfront about that role. Correct, Derek?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
She, basically that there were people on set taking pictures of her while she was unclothed. Is one of the things, which is scuzzy as hell. I mean,
Yep.
that's
It's a big
that's
issue
not
right there.
Yeah, yeah. So, and apparently there's been merchandise sold with her nude images as well, official merchandise, and that's a big problem too. Especially if you didn't get that writer in the contract for that. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. What do you guys think about this stuff I just dumped on you?
I wasn't sure where it was going to go, because it's like when you said about the nude scene, I was like, well, how do you not know that's going to happen? Now the explanation makes more sense. But yeah, pay people what you promised to pay them. That's what it comes down to. Like, that's terrible. If that is true, and it's an
treat
allegation
people
at this point.
like people, like most indefinitely. Like if you're going to do these things that she's then this is all allegedly. Obviously, we're hearing one side of the story. We haven't heard the Terrifier crew's side of the story at all. They could say this isn't true. Here's the contract. Here's all the stuff that's in it, and she's trying to do this because these movies have made $105 million, so she wants a piece of that pie. Sure, but we'll know that if you fight it and this goes to discovery, and people have to sit down for depositions. We'll know all that. We'll find out all of that stuff. And it doesn't have to be a written contract for the 1% necessarily. If they said, hey, if you, like, for instance, would be, well, look, if you shoot this scene topless, we'll give you 1% of all the future grosses. And she says, okay, I'll do that. They shake on it, and there's people that witness that. That's as good as a signed contract. So it's like, we'll find out. I bet you it's going to settle. If 95% of most cases do. So we may not ever find out. It may be a case of they come back with her and offer X amount of money for this to go away, and she accepts X amount of money, signs an NDA, and then we never hear of it again. Or they could say, this is bullshit. None of this is true. We will show it. We will prove it in court, and we'll see. But most likely they'll settle regardless of guilt, because you don't want to drag it out. You don't want to drag names through the mud. You don't want other stuff maybe that could come out in discovery to come out in discovery, like even if it has nothing to do with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So crazy. What do you think, Lydia?
That is kind of crazy. I keep thinking back to like the first time I watched that, and I was like, this is kind of horrible. And we've talked about it when we covered that movie, but that scene is so jarring to be a part of that iconic of a scene and you know, like, yeah, like pay her, obviously. And I really do wonder, like, how that went down behind the scenes of, like, if it was the day of that they're like, well, how about you just do it naked? And it's like, if she was like, okay, like, how does that play out legally? You know, like, did she agree? Like, is it still like a contract thing? I don't know. But I hope she gets what, you know, what she deserves for being in that role, because that is a very iconic role in this movie franchise.
Absolutely. And, it's like, hopefully things get settled and, I mean, I hope that the filmmakers didn't do some of this stuff, but if they did, then they need to answer for it for sure. There was also like apparently some stuff on other, other versions of the story because that was the variety. But there was other ones and that they were like, you know, rat feces in some of the prosthetics that she was wearing, shit like that. So it's like,
Rat
I mean, it's a
feces?
low budget
That's
movie that was made for 200.
disgusting.
It was made for $200,000, a crowdfunded movie. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? And in those things, you run and gun, you get things done the way you can, but you have to treat people like people, and you have to
Yeah.
respect people. And that wraps up the horror news for this episode. I figured you guys, I was debating on if I wanted to touch upon it, but it's pretty big news. I thought we should at least discuss it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Event Horizon. Lydia, you've seen this before, right?
I've never seen this before.
Oh, this is your first time.
This
Have you
is my
heard of
first
Event
time.
Horizon?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay. So, but you just never sat down to watch it?
Yeah. Yeah, I never had the opportunity, I guess. It never presented itself to me. I
Yep.
never went looking.
Yeah, never went looking for it, and then there it was. Popped out of Derek's head, and here we are.
Here we are.
Ta-da!
Now, Derek, you picked this episode. You
Yep.
picked this movie for this episode. You've seen this before, correct? Several times?
This might be like my third watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it when it came out. I don't think I went to the movies. This is probably one that we rented. And then maybe I've seen it one other time, but it's not something that's in a regular rotation or anything like that. So
No, same for me. Like I've seen this maybe twice. This might be my third time watching it. Maybe I've seen it a couple of times. I watched it around the time it came out it came out in '97, so I saw it probably around there. I think we rented it because I remember seeing watching it on the old VHS. And I remember watching it back then, and then I think the next time I saw it was like on Sci-fi or some shit, So it's been a while since I've watched this one. So there are certain things that I remembered, like I remembered the basic premise. I remembered the ending for the most part. I remembered the twists that occur. And so the things I didn't remember that we'll talk about is I didn't remember the absolutely dreadful CG floating shit. I didn't remember that because that stuff is awful.
I know, but at the time when you watched it, it probably just blended into everything else you had seen at the time. It didn't stand out
yeah.
as being terrible.
Yeah,
as much
because
as
it was
does now.
It was standard def as well. It wasn't high def. But when you watch it, it's like I was like, oh, man, don't show those anymore. Just quit showing them. Just put something on a string that's better. Just put it on a string. Hang something on a wire because I believe that more. That's better. But this movie as a whole, I think, looks pretty good. I think the cinematography is pretty solid. It's not too, since it's made in '97, we don't have the obnoxiousness of the 2000s editing, right? In the 2000s color grade. It's still shot like a movie, thank God.
Yeah.
So I think it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty good. And it doesn't have a lot of, like I said, the editing, it doesn't have a lot of obnoxious ramp up cuts and stuff like that became very popular after Saw. And Resident Evil. Like, I mean, Resident Evil has a lot of this. Actually, Resident Evil has a shitload of slow-mo. Like, I think I cracked the code. What I think happened was the first movie that Zack Snyder actually watched was fucking Resident Evil, and then since then he and Paul W.S. Anderson have been on a slow mo off to see who can fit as many slow motion shots in their films as possible. But this cast, guys, is pretty great.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
Lydia, what are you doing?
I was waiting. I felt like Derek was going to say somebody froze.
I said, yeah, agreed, and then it froze again. No, the cast in this movie is pretty epic.
Dang it.
Yeah, I had forgotten who was in this movie. Like, Lawrence Fishburne, knew he was in here, Sam Neill, but like some of the supporting characters, yeah, I was shocked.
We have Jason Isaacs in this, guys.
Yeah.
And
I know.
He's fucking great. He's great in this movie. His character is really cool. And so yeah, we'll wait for Lydia because I know she's got some stuff to say about Jason Isaacs besides the train going off. I've got this freaking weird thing that's happening. I don't know. It's just started happening here in the house, but I'll just hear like it sounds like a wind. Whoo! Like it's outside. It's like I think it might be like the speedway down the way or something, but it just goes whoo. Sounds like wind howling through the fucking forest or something.
Jamie, that's a ghost.
Oh shit! So Lydia,
yeah,
what do you think of this cast?
Yeah, I like the cast. Everybody's good. No complaints.
Yeah,
Jason Isaacs is in this? Freaking awesome. Loved seeing him in this.
Me too. I completely forgot he was in this. He popped up and I was like, and then his character is a pretty cool character. I think the characters are decently drawn. They're not all great, but they're decent. I mean, your leads are pretty strong. They're pretty decently written.
Yeah.
Sam Neill is kind of our fake lead, right? So we go into this thing thinking he's basically our lead, right? Because we start it from his point of view, from Dr. Weir's point of view, because he's the first person that we see. We kind of start to see things through his eyes. Then once we're on the ship, the lead focuses onto Lawrence Fishburne's Captain Miller. Like it literally like pushes him into the forefront, and Dr. Weir, because Dr. Weir starts acting really fucking weird, pretty early. We start to see there's a shot pretty early in the first act where you can tell that he's gonna break bad, right? Did you see that coming, Lydia? Did you see him breaking bad?
I don't think I did. I think I had a completely different vision for the ending of this movie in my head. Completely different.
Well, yeah, because the ending goes a little fucking wild. We'll talk about that. And not necessarily in a great way, but it goes fucking wild for sure. But there's a bit where he, when the thing is attacking through the doors and, does, this fucking tilt on him and he's, kind of doing this towards the camera and stuff. I was like, oh, there's this Breaking Bad. That's where, they're tipping their hand right there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. So essentially, we have the plot is they're on a rescue mission. They don't know what they're doing yet, and then they're told that they're going to rescue the Event Horizon, which disappeared 7 years earlier. Went on a mission to supposedly explode it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the official story, but realistically, realistically, it vanished because it is a interdimensional spaceship. It's supposed to bend space-time, the whole paper bit, to get basically warp speed, to jump through space-time. And so their mission is to recover it and see if there's any survivors. Kind of like the setup for Aliens. It's very similar to the setup for Aliens. Actually, I think the first act of this movie is very much inspired by Ridley Scott's Alien, right?
Yeah, I would say.
Especially like them sitting around the table, the camaraderie, all of that stuff is like very much Alien. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah.
It's not
I
bad.
don't
I
know
think
what you
it's
said, but I'm sure it was
decent
good.
stuff. I think it kind of
It's
good.
it's hard to even pinpoint because there's so many like sci-fi space movies that have that kind of similar thing because you're
Yeah, they
just
all
in
ripped off
space.
Alien. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely that first act is a little Aliens inspired, but I think it does set up the characters pretty decently, right? We kind of get like the one personality trait that every character has, you know. So we have the woman whose son, you know, she's missing her son, who is, I think, has been in an accident, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And then you have the Jason Isaacs character who is like a medic, um, and he's had like some kind of surgery. And then, you know, Captain Miller's the most well drawn, obviously. We also have the female. I don't remember her name. You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Peters. Peters.
Yeah.
Uh, so you have her as well, and then you have the one crazy guy. Who the fuck is that guy? The engineer, fucking knows Ensign Justin. Yeah, that guy's fucking wild, right?
The guy who fixes the ship.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's kind of like the fun character, I guess.
he is.
Well, there's two of them
Two
that
fun
go and fix the
characters.
ship. Well, there's two that fix the ship. There is the one that survives, right? The African American guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the D-bag guy
Mm-hmm.
that like tries to. I mean, he like freaks out at you know, um, rightfully so, but he freaks out at Weird, and like they have to restrain him twice.
Yep.
So, what do you think of our group of characters as characters?
You know, it's a ragtag group of people. I mean, they are aboard this rescue ship, and you know they've been together for a while. So this is, you know, the captain's crew. Uh, you know, they're fine. They serve their purpose. All of them die. Most of them, I guess.
Yeah, all but three. Yeah,
I have
Yep.
a problem with the young man
Oh,
Yes.
being on this
Little
ship.
Bear. What's his name,
yeah,
Little
Baby
Bear.
Bear. Yeah,
Baby Bear.
yeah.
I feel like maybe he didn't have the maturity to be on this mission quite yet, but that's just me.
Maybe.
Well, he's going to get
But
sucked into the alternate dimension because we kind of touched on it before we had the technical difficulties, but like they built the ship to travel long distances, and what it seems happened is it went to another dimension.
yeah,
Yeah,
L.
he
It
goes
went
up
to
and
hell.
touches the mysterious thing that you should never touch.
Yeah, the
Right?
gravity drive.
I mean, I
Gravity
would do the same thing, Lydia. I'd walk up and be like, "Ugh, black goo. I like it."
drive. Who doesn't? Hopefully, I'll become a symbiote.
Zero common sense.
I mean,
Yeah, so he
maybe, I
gets
guess.
sucked into the goo, and that kind of sets the stage for all the stuff that happens next. And we come to find out that the ship is basically alive at that point, or haunted. Basically, the ship is haunted by the evil from the other dimension. It's kind of very vague of what exactly is going on.
Yeah, it's like alive and haunted, kind of.
Yeah, it's like alive and haunted, and it won't let him escape. And then like,
It's infected.
it kind of takes a while for stuff to happen, really, because we have like, you know, we have that inciting incident of that happening, of him getting sucked into the gravity drive, and then they start just kind of everybody starts hallucinating things, which is pretty interesting, pretty fun. They see things that like their greatest fears, or you know, Sam Neill just keeps seeing his wife, who we find out um, had cut her wrists in the bathtub, um, and so he's like living with the guilt of that and never being around for her, and that's kind of what's starting to make him lose it. Plus, he's driven by hubris, right? Like,
hmm
definitely driven by hubris and ego, because he's like, I built this ship. We're so like I said at the beginning, it's kind of set up that he's going to be our lead, like he's going to be like the hero of the story. But then when he starts talking about the ship, you kind of feel that shift into fucking Paul Reiser from Aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. The madness.
Yeah, when he's like, we're gonna complete this. That's not part of our job, This is our mission. And Lawrence Fishburne's like, fuck our mission. This is our new mission. Is we came here, nobody's alive, we're going. And then he's like, well, what about the ship? He's like, I have no intention of leaving the ship. I'm going to get as far away from it as I can. I'm going to blow it up with some fucking torpedoes.
Yeah, yeah.
I will say Lawrence Fishburne is great in this movie. I think he's awesome in this movie.
Oh yeah,
He's always awesome.
He is. But this is one of my favorite characters of his, because he's like just such like a cool leader, and he gets to do some fun action stuff, and it's just great seeing him do that kind of stuff. I mean, of course, he does it in The Matrix, but that's Morpheus. So this is a fun character for him to play, and he's got such a great voice.
He really does.
Dude, Sam Neill's got a great voice. I could like listen to that guy talk about fucking anything and just be like, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, he does. He's great. They're both great. Those two are like heads and tails. And Jason Isaacs is really good in it. Or heads and tails above the other actors. They're not terrible or anything, but like those guys are just like pros, and you can like see see why they are all stars for sure. When Sam Neill, when Weird like loses it, when he goes mad, it's kind of interesting, right? Because first he kind of starts to go mad, but he's not there yet. And when he sees the woman after she, first of all, look, here's something that, I know you have to put yourself, you don't know unless you're in that situation. But so they've all established, hey, this ship is making us hallucinate things that aren't here. We know that this ship is doing this. And then she sees her kid climbing the thing and decides to follow it. Why don't you say, well, that's probably the ship making me hallucinate because he's fucking on Earth? Like...
I just decided to suspend logic.
You have to.
Do. But you're right.
But that is...
A sane person would be like, wait a minute. Why would he be here?
Yeah. That makes no sense
I'm
at all.
hallucinating.
Yeah. And, her death is okay. She just kind of falls, but gets pushed by the ship, I guess. That's stuff still very vague and weird.
She didn't get pushed. She just walked right off a cliff, essentially, right down that shaft.
Oh yeah, she just didn't see that there was like a giant hole.
Yeah,
there.
But
she was
like
focused on the other side.
But then, like the sun is right behind her afterwards, insinuating
I think he was on the other side.
Push, and then I don't know. It's very unclear, and
yeah,
it's just so she falls into her death, and Weir is like I said, he's still not completely insane. He goes over, he tries to check on her. He feels terrible that she's hurt, and then he sees his wife and he claws his own eyeballs out.
So did it either of you? He's kind of a weird, and maybe it's just like it wasn't a good, didn't track well with the movie. Did you kind of get the sense that he had a little bit of a connection before they even went to space?
So I think it's the ship calling to him.
Yeah, okay. And that's kind of what I was picking up too. It felt like there was a connection, like he was being drawn.
I think it's more like maybe before they arrive on the ship, it's more that he is has the trauma from his wife, right?
Yeah, and like what we're seeing at the beginning, the ship just takes over and does the same thing. You know what I mean? I think I get it now. Because instead of
Yeah.
having
And
a connection before, it's once it gets there, the ship just says. Because like with Lawrence Fishburne's character, he didn't tell anybody about what happened, but it knew,
Correct.
and it did this. So it probably just said, "I'll take that and I'll use it against you." That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
I feel like also that he loves the ship because that is like his baby.
Oh
in a
yeah,
way.
like he lost
made
his
it.
wife
For
to
that
this
ship.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had kind of like several levels of connections to the ship.
Yeah, like he wants to salvage this ship. It's the thing
And
that.
yeah, like it knows that he's hurt and it knows that he also loves it. So he's like, the ship is like, that's my guy right there.
Yeah,
That's the one I
that's
need to
the one.
manipulate.
Yeah, and then once he goes crazy, it like becomes like really like schlocky. The movie turns pretty schlocky, I think.
It kind of does.
Once he turns crazy, it becomes schlocky. The first, I think, 2/3 of it like are pretty solid, straightforward, like kind of paranoid, kind of
Mm-hmm.
action adventure horror thriller. Then it becomes like pretty schlocky once he turns evil, because basically he takes the bomb and blows up the one dude. Then he goes into where Jason Patrick is, because they're like, "Hey, it's Weir." And he's like, "Oh, I'll take care of Weir." Then he shows up and like fillets him and like hangs him off hooks, very Hellraiser-y, like you were talking about earlier, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
This
is where I felt like it really was inspired by Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And you know what I thought when I saw that scene?
What?
I was
Hannibal
like,
Lecter?
all that work for like 2 seconds of
screen time.
Yeah. Screen time right there.
What else is interesting is you have to think about that Weir would have had to like meticulously do all that while they're still looking, while Miller's running across the ship. Wait, I've got to stop, jog, and buy an ice cream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Weir's look when he's sewn his eyes shut is pretty good look. I think he looks pretty scary, right?
The effects are cool.
Effect, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. And then, so there's a couple. I'm going to backtrack a little bit because there's a couple things I want to talk. Another thing I want to talk about that I think is kind of deadly, which is when the young kid.
You scared the crap out of me.
What is that?
My AC just kicked on.
Yeah, you might want to kill
on.
that. That scared the shit out of me. So the young kid, Baby Bear, when he gets when he's in the gravity airlock, and like the suspense that leading up to it's really good, but when he floats out there, the fact that he floats out there and Miller catches him and brings him back and he lives is kind of fucking wild, right?
Yeah, it's super wild. It's like some of the things. I got another train. Some of these things in this space movie, they're not on par with today's space movies of our understanding of space.
No, exactly. Yeah, what'd you think of that bit, Derek?
I once heard somebody who had knowledge of this. Maybe it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. Talk about, it wasn't this movie specifically. I think it was the one where Tim Robbins takes off his helmet and he instantly freezes.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of explained what would actually happen, and it's nothing like this or that other thing. So I was just like, in this universe, apparently you implode like you're underneath the sea, I guess.
But yeah, the fact that he's like, curl yourself up into a ball. I was like, what? That's how you survive space? Ah! What are you talking
Push out
about?
all your oxygen. Never mind the amount that's being carried through your bloodstream.
Bloodstream, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I just had to mention that because that made me laugh when I watched it. Because of not only because that's wild in concept, but because the execution is super clunky and weird. Like it just looks so funny. It's like
Pair
Such
that
a
with
hero moment.
the special effects, like the CGI, and you've got a recipe for the early 2000s or whenever the fuck this movie was made.
Late 90s. Late 90s.
90s, late 90s.
When the one guy is like flown off on some like debris that's now floating in space,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like shoots back to the ship, I was like,
Well, the best part is when he like is, I'm coming back, baby, and he's just like going literally nowhere. He's going into Neptune's atmosphere.
I know that's where I thought he was going. I thought he was just going to land on Neptune.
he's like, here I come.
Here I come, baby.
I'm coming for you, T-Bird.
And then he freaking, he comes, they're like, there's no way that's Weir. And it wasn't. It was, it was him. And then we get the final confrontation with Weir, who, this part is what I hate. I hate that he's just like, the ship brought me back. What? I can guess that it's a hallucination, maybe.
Yeah.
But it seems to actually be Weir. And this final makeup, I hate. I don't think it's good. Like, I just don't like it.
I don't hate it, but it's not great. Not great.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. I think it's well done. It's just so
No,
odd.
it is
Such
well
an
done.
odd
I just
choice.
don't like the design of it. He looks like Freddy Krueger Pinhead or something.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also a really great, like, few Doctor Who episodes that this reminded me of. There's,
What's really
like, the Satan Pit and, like, stuff like that. It's, like, very much like this movie.
There's a lot of, in this final bit, he just close-ups of just Sam Neill's eyes over and over.
Yeah.
Like, almost the same shot.
I
was
thought
almost
was
like
kind of cool that they were, like, made the choice to just be like, we're only going to show, like...
I like that as a choice, but I almost feel like it's out of necessity because I think maybe there's a bunch of shit ADR'd. And so they showed his eyes while they had him say different shit, right?
Could be.
Because it just seemed kind of weird, I felt like. Yeah.
I felt like it was making him look very devilish, though. Like, something about that. I was kind of like, all right, I see you.
Yeah, so there was a lot of editing.
Too evil to focus on anything else.
Yeah, there was a lot of editing in this. A lot of editing issues, I guess, due to bad test screenings and the amount of gore. So they cut out a bunch of gore, too. So that's probably part of it, I would imagine, of that choice.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of the ending of this with Miller sacrificing himself to blow himself up and then them, escaping the ship and, they're home free. The two survivors plus Baby Bear who survived his spacewalk, apparently.
How he survived anything, I don't know.
Yeah, I would have been 100% on board, although they tried to be too cute and kind of leave it in a vague, maybe cliffhanger type. I just wish they would have fucking picked a route. Because this movie was not good enough to leave on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
I'm going to take it as they actually got saved, although it leans more towards they did, but it's all right.
No, they definitely got saved, but like Stark like hallucinates like that Weir is one of them, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "We're here. It's me." And you're like, "Oh, it's the Carrie moment. It's supposed to be our Carrie scare, right?" You know?
And it kind of makes sense because he did the same thing when he came out of that like pod.
Yes. So we have
you're disoriented.
Yes, but it kind of undercuts itself, I think, is what Derek's saying, because it's kind of confusing. Yeah. Because then you're like, totally agree. Is this a cliffhanger? What's going on? Instead of it being more like that one last scare, you could have.
Yeah.
I think it ends too abruptly after the film crew or after the rescue team's there, because they could have had like maybe an epilogue to show them like landing or something would have been more clear, but it's not really needed. The end of the story when the story ended, I appreciate that. But adding that scare does make it a little more muddy, right, Derek?
For sure.
Yeah. What do you think of the ending as a whole, though, Lydia?
I don't even know. I don't know what to think of this ending. I didn't expect it. I can tell you that.
You didn't expect Weir to pop back up?
I just did not expect, this entire ending. I had a different outcome in my mind of what this movie was about.
You didn't expect it from Weir turning bad to him turning into like proto Pinhead to any of that shit?
Yeah, especially the Pinhead situation. I did not expect. I thought he would like figure it out.
Figure out how to stop it? Yeah.
Yeah, like that's he's sees the hallucinations and he knows what the thing is. Like he should be like figuring it all out.
Yeah.
Like, and he just doesn't. He just is like they see the hallucinations, they know they're hallucinations, and then they fall for them every single time. And it's like nobody's gonna just like say like it's not real.
Well, and then he said that because he says, I remember, like, no, listen, Captain, I felt the fire. No, it was real. No, it's a hallucination. So it's like,
is it a hallucination? Is it real?
Yeah, is it
maybe it is real?
I don't know. It's really.
But when he saw her hallucination when he came out of the pod, like you said, she cut her wrists in a bathtub. Why does she have no eyes?
The no eyes thing is really weird to me. I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
Derek, did you understand the no eyes?
Nope.
Or is it just because
he
it's a
cuts
creepy
out
image?
his eyes?
That could just be just
that
artistic.
CG was so distracting on the eyeballs.
The eyeballs.
Well, like the most distracting part is like they'll do half the scene with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
Just to get the reveal, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that was some bad CG eyes?
Pretty bad CG eyes.
That was some bad. No, I'm just. It was fine.
What do you guys think of this movie as a whole?
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. We talked about it, saw when it came out. I might have seen it at some point on like fucking TBS or Sci-Fi, one of the two. Yeah. This would have definitely been one that was on TBS back in the day. But either way, I remember the commercials. I remember him explaining the way that the physics works in layman's terms, and you can't leave the ship. She won't let you. By the way, I can't wait until I'm in like a super high stressful situation or an intense encounter, and man, I really hope I get a fucking one-liner in life, because there were like 6 of them in this movie. Lawrence Fishburne.
Derek, we've heard some of your one-liners.
Lydia, jealousy's hard. I get it, but I can't wait to be in the moment and just be like, whatever the one-liner might be at that moment, it's going to come to me.
Man, you're really killing it so far. Yeah. You're giving us great examples.
Dude, I had that one really good one-liner in the movie theater. I can assure you.
Which one was that? Oh,
it will not.
That was definitely a cool one-liner, Derek. The kid shit himself. The time that we were at the movies and I accidentally kicked that guy's seat in front of me. On accident, I was crossing my legs and swiped his seat once. And he turned around and he said, "Is this going to be a problem?" And Derek leaned over and said, "I can assure you it will not." And I remember I was like fucking crying.
Derek,
I was crying laughing. That was crying laughing. I was like, "You fucking, what are you going to do? Fucking, that's wild."
That was
I can assure you, it will not.
That's a total badass right there.
Yeah, he probably thought Derek was about to fucking teach him something. Have you done your homework?
He could have been intimidated. He could have been like, "Oh man, he's gonna take me out." I don't know.
Listen, he probably was thinking, man, that guy's going to correct my speech patterns if I don't enunciate. I better not talk to him anymore. Most people in that situation, they would have said, is this going to be a problem? Derek would be like, it's not going to be a fucking problem, buddy. Turn around, or there's not going to be a problem here, pal. Derek goes, I can assure you it will not. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Disarm.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
I love it. That's so great.
It's great. That's great. That was when we went and saw Die Hard 4, by the way. That was...
Yep.
We were sitting...
So you had this action junkie sitting in front of you just trying to fight somebody.
And he's like, I'm so hyped about Die Hard 4. must fight people who kick my seats. I could understand him turning around if I would have kicked his seat 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop. But literally, it was one time I had my legs crossed and I uncrossed them and my foot went, and he just turned around. Is there going to be a problem? I'm like, what?
You're like,
what
sorry.
Yeah, before I could even, clap back at him, Derek had my back though.
That's awesome, Derek.
Yeah.
Did you,
I'll have it. She's having.
Jamie, did you just let it fall after you were just like, yeah, what he said.
Dude, he said that, and no, he said it. He said, I can assure you it will not. And I went.
See, Lydia, my tactics are, I'm going to cut the tension with a knife, that's my tactics. Like, if I'm ever in a real confrontation and we're about to fight, I'm just going to let out the biggest fart that you've ever heard in your life.
That guy would have just got up and moved.
Derek, I think that'd just be your natural reaction to most things.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. They won't know that.
That's true.
And they're going to be like, what the hell?
I can see how that would be kind of fucked up. You're just like, okay.
He starts just smelling it.
And then everybody's like, man, I got to go.
Yeah, okay, well, that kind of killed that mood.
You're suddenly the only 2 people watching Die Hard 4.
Yep. Clear the room.
Gosh, where were we?
Back on topic.
Movie? That was
Derek, what do you think about this movie?
I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay, there you go. Lydia, what do you say?
6. I think I'm going to give it a 5.5. I categorize this movie under dad movie in my brain. Like, this is a total dad movie.
Kind of is a dad movie.
I was never like, and that's not a bad thing because I love dad movies typically, but this one, I was like, I can kind of see why I've never seen it because it just wasn't one that was like for me, this one didn't get me. I wasn't enthralled or anything, so, but I did like the acting and I liked some of the choices but some of it was kind of silly.
Yeah, I'm about where you are, Derek. I'm about a 6 as well. I like this movie. I don't think it's great or anything like that. I think it's a solid good time, right? I think it's a fun time. If it's on, I'm not going to immediately turn the channel like, oh my god, let's get this off. But I probably, if a commercial came on, I'd probably turn it because I didn't have my interest that much. But I watched it and was intrigued with the story and kind of in it while I was watching it. Yeah, but also it's one of those that right after it was over, I kind of almost immediately forgot. So like when we were talking about it, I was trying to remember things, and I just watched it, a couple days ago. So it's like, it didn't stay with me. It's not like, when we went and saw, like if we saw a movie that is great, like Nosferatu. Like I watched that once when we went and saw it in the theater, and I was like, I could tell you a lot of things happened in that movie because it was fucking wild and really good.
Yeah.
This one didn't have that staying power, but it's solid. It's okay. It's a solid 6. Now, guys, it's time to Atkinize this movie.
Thrill me.
Who will the great Tom Atkins play in this?
I would say Lawrence Fishburne's character, but I don't want to replace him.
Yeah, I wouldn't replace Lawrence Fishburne. He's really
It'd either be him or Dr.
Or Sam Neill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to put him in each role in my head quickly.
I mean, as his personality fits Miller more than it does Dr. Weir, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how we would kind of cast him.
Yeah.
But we don't want to. What if we
Don't
put
wanna-
Lawrence Fishburne as Dr. Weir and then put.
Yeah, we don't want to lose Lawrence Fishburne because he's like
We really
great
don't.
and he's just great in general.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
I mean, how interesting would that be? Him in that role of being like possessed by the ship.
He would be really good in it. He'd definitely be really good in it.
Could be
And
scary.
Sam Neill was really great. And I mean, Tom Atkins could do that too, but I feel like he would be better as the bravado captain, being a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, smoking some cigarettes and shit.
Oh, he could be. He could also be the medic.
He could be the medic.
But for real, I forgot about this until you just said this. Who in their right mind would smoke on a spacecraft?
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
and the gravity just. I mean, how did that
just
even
feel
work
like-
in there?
Yeah, there's a recipe of disaster floating around there somewhere. Anyway,
Yeah, if it's maybe, yeah. But Derek, you wouldn't smoke anywhere, so
well, I know. I'm just saying.
you're just being a cigar hater.
That's how I roll in life. A cigarette
All
hater.
right, Lydia, it's your turn to pick. I'm glad that you picked up on that great name. Derek's like, I like it. Lydia, it's your turn to pick. What are we watching next week?
Okay, I think we kind of went over this a little bit earlier, but we have a lot of catching up to do on the Scream franchise.
Mm.
So I think it would be great to just go ahead and watch Scream 3, since it's not even that scary. I think I could pick that one.
All right, Scream 3. Lydia's picking the great Wes Craven's 2000 horror film, Scream 3, the second sequel in the Scream saga, which now is wild to think that there's 7 of these movies now. 7. There was 3 for just the longest time. and,
Sure.
and then 4 for just a long time as well. So let's see where that's streaming. I think it's on Peacock. And I think Paramount Plus. Let's see if I'm right on these. Scream 3. Okay. Yeah, Scream 3 is streaming on Peacock. It is on Hulu. Oh, it's everywhere. Paramount Plus, Pluto, Disney Plus, YouTube, Sling TV, Amazon Prime, Fandango, Apple TV, and Tubi. It is also on Fubo TV. So pick a fucking streaming service. Scream 3 is apparently on there. Fubo TV, watch it on Fubo. You get extra points. So yeah, it's pick a streaming service and Scream 3 will be on there, so you can watch it. So that's on the dock for next week. So be sure to check that out so you'll be prepared for next week's episode. In the meantime, let us know down below what you think of Event Horizon. Were we too harsh on it? Is it one of your favorite movies? Are you a dad and enjoyed this film? Because Derek and I are dads, and we thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
We liked it more than Lydia because she's not a dad, you see. So let us know your thoughts on it. And give us some recommendations on what movies you'd like us to see, like us to talk about in the future. You can follow us online at HiLaProductions.com. You can follow us on Facebook at HiLa Productions. And stay tuned at the end screen for the opening scene to our feature film that we are currently in pre-production on. We are in the fundraising, or the raising the funds phase. So stay tuned for all information, be up-to-date news on that. We have some new information coming out for you very soon. So guys, until next week, I need you to go out, grab Scream 3, put on your ghost face mask, cut your hair in like a really weird pixie, like Betty Page cut, and find your local Hollywood producer to hop on the casting couch with and join us next week when we hit up Scream 3. Until then, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jimmy Hiles. Remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.